Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing great. I am excited to be here. Excited because I love to work with winners. We are recording this, so make sure you put your mics on mute, please. Today, we're going to talk about part one of investigative selling. I'll do part two. So, part one is going to be setting up the premise, what we have to cover, prospecting, handling rejection and failure. Part two is going to be qualifying, handling objections, and closing a sale. So this is part one, and I want to get right into it. All of you know me that are on here because you all bought a package. So I want to get right into it. First of all, our world is changing, and you got to be ready for it. I was talking to David and Justin about it, that this is a changing world, and we got to just keep making money. And the way I do that is by sales. So you got to be ready for the new economy, because if not, you're going to get washed up. But we're not going to get washed up. We're going to ride the wave. We're not going to get washed up. So it's very important that you realize that there are things that you must master and keep working on so you don't get faked out or comfort. So for instance, for me, my biggest challenge is comfort, because I don't have to work anymore. So every morning I wake up, and I had this conversation when I was with Grant Cardone and Kevin Harrington at lunch at an event. And he said the same thing to me. He says every morning he wakes up like he's starting from scratch. And it's funny he said that, because I've been doing that for 20-something years. Every time I wake up, I tell myself, I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from the beginning. And I find that a lot of successful men and women have that hungry mentality, as Les Brown says. You got to be hungry, right? Got to have that hungry mentality and wake up every day as you're just starting again, because you're only as good as your last sale, right? So the first thing I want to talk to you about is, what do you need to master to be so competitive in this community? What do you need to master training for today's marketplace? So let's talk about investigative selling. Then I'm going to break it down into 10 steps. So the first thing you need to do is become the expert advisor. So every day, keep working at becoming better at your products and services. Every day. Every day you should be working very hard on becoming better. Now, is that the most important thing? No, but it helps. At first, all you do is be a closer. Create, prospect, qualify, handle objections, close a sale. But becoming the expert advisor is very important, because the more you learn, the more you earn, right? And the more you know about products, the more options you have for your clients. And I think it's very important that you realize that that's a really important thing, because I want you, listen to me, to be the solution. I am the solution. Say it, I am the solution. You're the solution. Every time somebody talks to you about your business, you are the expert advisor. You are the solution. I tell all of you that your goal is to be a PPS, professional problem solver. A PPS is someone, if somebody comes up to me and goes, hey, I want to know about annuities, gotcha. I want to know about life insurance, gotcha. I want to know about mortgages, gotcha. I want to know about real estate, I gotcha. I want to know about building pole barns or barnuminiums, I gotcha. I want to learn about decks, I gotcha. Whatever they want, you got them. You got it, right? And if you don't, go do your due diligence immediately and learn as much as you can about it. Come back with solutions. So we want to be the expert advisor. Next, we want to stay and focus on investigative selling, which is my program that all of you have. Investigative selling, I want you to all download the workbook and take your product and service and master investigative selling. Now, once you go through it once, skip the first 3 sessions, because I basically talk about how I came up with it and all that. You don't need that anymore. Once you hear that once, just skip, go to session 3, get into prospecting and qualifying, that kind of stuff. So here are the steps of investigative selling. Then I want to break it down. I just did an event. I did a thing called Results for Tony Robbins. And I did this sales program that I'm sharing with you guys. I'm going to break down the 10 steps that I shared with his audience at his event. First things, pre-plan and prepare. Make sure that every day you wake up with a plan. I have a little saying, any entrepreneur that wakes up without a plan is unemployed. So if you wake up without a plan, you are unemployed. Why? because nobody's going to come in. Most of you work out of your homes or your offices by yourself. So nobody's going to come around and motivate you. So first of all, you got to be self-motivated, be a self-starter, pre-plan, prepare, wake up every day. I really believe in time boxing. I've been using it for 30 years. Elon Musk uses it. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. If you have any questions about time boxing, it's real simple. All you do is have on a sheet of paper, put the 3 things you need to get done that day, and then time dump everything, dump all your thoughts into your piece of paper. And then on the right, whenever you wake up, whether it's 6, 7, and you work until 6 or 7 or whatever, you time box what you need to do. So for instance, for me, I get up in the morning, my first thing, drink a cup of coffee, have a protein drink, and I pray. I do that for an hour. Then I go to the gym for an hour. That's 2 hours. Then I get ready. And then from 10 to 12, I talk to my students, my mentees. I take a break. And then I come back and I work with my mentees from 1 to 4. And that's my day. After that, it's me time. So I go and I listen to it. One of the things I learned from my mentor, Brian Tracy, is the first 2 hours should be for you. And those first 2 hours should be for you. And if you start the day at 8, get up at 6. Whatever you do, those first 2 hours should be for you. And take 15 to 20 minutes to learn something. Learn something. You know, I'm really good friends with John Maxwell. He wrote a quote for my book. You won't see any quotes by John Maxwell. He's not allowed, but he did it for me. And in fact, I named my boy after him. My son's name is Maxwell. And so he always says that when you wake up, you should have that 2 hours, like Brian Tracy says, and get yourself prepared, pre-planned, prepare for the day, and get ready to be fired up. All right. Number 2, prospect. How many people do you want to talk that day? Prospecting. So you time box, let's say from 10 to 12, that you want to talk to 20 people. Now, hang-ups and voicemails don't count. 20 people that you get to, that's what counts. Now, let me share something with you. Right now, emails are not being opened. So if you're sending out emails with your database, you're having less results than you used to just 2 years ago. So what I'm asking you to do is pick up one of those text messaging business platforms, text message people. So here's what I recommend to prospect. Email, hey, it was great meeting you. Thank you for your time or whatever. And would love to do some business with you. Number 2, text message them. Text message them and tell them, hey, I want to get with you. Let's get together for a cup of coffee or on a Zoom. Number 3, call them. So email, text, call. You do that until they buy or die, okay? Until they buy or die. If they tell you to go to heck, fine. At least you got an answer, right? I don't like when I have people that are, you know the kind of folks that you have in that are you, maybe you or your organization, and they're waiting for this person to call them back. Don't do that. Either they're going to cut you off, ghost you, or they're going to buy. That's the way I look at it. I want them to be, you know, this guy, this gal is serious about their business. That's what I want, right? So it's very important. Make sure you email, text, call. Email, text, call. Do it every other day until they either buy or die. Make that appointment. Next, develop and build relationships. Got to develop and build rapport with people. How do you do that, Omar? Find out about what they do. People love to talk about what they do. Find out about their families if they have one. Find out about their hobbies. Find out about the things they are passionate about. Find their why. Talk to them about them. People love to talk about themselves. That's how you build rapport. Don't be talking about yourself. Ask them questions that get them to elaborate about themselves, right? Number 4, you got to really focus on questions. So every one of you that are on this call have different businesses, but you should really focus on your questioning techniques. I teach those to you. You've got the alternative choice, the porcupine. That's answering a question with a question. You've got the seek the positive questions, right? That's when you ask people questions that they say yes every time, right? Like tie downs, things like that. You've got all kinds. I teach 47 questioning techniques, and then you got to listen. Remember, God gives you 2 ears, 1 mouth. That means you listen twice as much as you talk. Very important. Next, create a magnetic presentation. I want you to really look at your presentation and record it. Record yourself on your phone, or record yourself on your audio. And I want you to do that once a month, because you might be picking up things that you shouldn't be doing, like seal talk. You know what seal talk is? That's seal talk, right? So make sure that you watch you might be doing something that's throwing people off of your presentation. Make sure you record yourself and have a magnetic presentation. What's a magnetic presentation? A magnetic presentation is a presentation that has no excess. That means look at your presentation and look what you can eliminate that's keeping you from going to the close. I want you to have a presentation. Most of you should have a 17-minute presentation. 17 minutes. Why? So then the person can ask you questions. Try to get your presentation down to 17 minutes. They've done research that the most effective presentations. Now, if you're financial services, you might have to do more consulting, right? Or selling bardominiums, or, but most presentations should be about 17 minutes. Next, negotiate. I wrote Donald Trump's negotiations course, and you have it. I gave it all to you because I own them. So master negotiation skills, very important. And then, of course, close a sale. That's what I'm known for. I'm the master of teaching closing a sale. I'm in the top 10 in the world for platform sales. Number 8, become a follow-up specialist. Make sure when you're making a sale, you follow up and follow through, follow up and follow through, follow up and follow through. Why? I just had a realtor who I mentor came to me and says, I'm so glad I listened to you. Right now, most real estate transactions are falling apart. And you know why? First of all, the property's overpriced. Number 2, the bank will not fund the deal the way it is. Number 3, they're tougher on what the rules are to qualify. So like right now, I had one of my students called me up. He says, Omar, I'm at the closing table. They just asked my client for 30%. I said, what do they have? 20%. All right. Take the client and the prospect, the person that owns the real estate outside. They took him outside, put me on a speakerphone, put him on a speakerphone. Hey, Bill, Mary, I know you want to sell your house, right? You're at the closing table. You've gone through a lot already. And, you really don't want to start all over again, do you? Oh, no, Omar, we really don't. Hey, so listen, here's what I want you to do. And I already got this approved by the buyer and my student. I said, what I'd like you to do is take back 10%. Take back 10%. Give them 10%. Take it back, do a balloon payment, and they're going to pay you in 2 years, and they'll pay you 10% for that balloon payment. Okay, done. Went back, closed the deal. My student goes, man, that was a $24 million deal. Just closed, and he got 6% of it, right? Well, of course, the real estate company's going to take 20 because he's a top producer, 10, 20%. Still, that was a nice sale for my student, right? So I just paid for myself. Why? I think out of the box. I think out of the box. I want you to listen to me. Think out of the box. Deals are to be made. Everything is doable. You just got to be creative, not competitive. Think creative. When you think creative, you create. When you think competitive, you're not. You're thinking from a fixed mindset. When you're thinking competitive, you're thinking from an abundant mindset. I want you to think from an abundant mindset, right? Next, get referrals. Every time you make a sale, they're happy. That's the time to get referrals. That's when you ask for the referrals. Bill, Mary, I know that you're pretty happy that you sold that home. I do, this is my business. And do you know of anyone else that's thinking of selling their home or buying a home, or maybe one of your friends or relatives or somebody you work with? That it would be really great. Omar, there is, Tom is selling his home, and I know he's downsizing his kids' moved out of the house. Great. Will you do me a favor? What's his phone number and their name? Well, it's this. Good. Can you do me a favor? Could you call them for me? When I call, they're a little defensive. And if you call them for me, just introduce me. Yeah, if sometimes they're comfortable with that. If not, you say, then would it be okay if I got a testimonial letter from you? That's it. Bingo. Next, motive, action, and daily rituals. I want you to master, you need to create daily rituals of successful men and women. I have the pleasure of training Elon Musk's companies now for over 12 years. And that guy, I don't know how he does it. He only sleeps like 3-4 hours a day. I can't do that. I need my 7 hours. But that guy's got rituals. Anyone that's successful, whether you like him or not, Donald Trump, I worked with him for 3.5 years with his companies. He's got rituals. Anyone that's successful has rituals. I want you to create daily rituals of successful men and women. Like get up with a plan, right? Write down the 3 things you want to accomplish that day. What I'd like you to do is write down in the back of a business card or a 3x5 card your 3 top goals that you want to achieve that day, that week, that month. I want you to look at them in the morning, at lunch, and in the evening. In the morning, I want you to think of 3 things that you want to do to move towards those goals, right? This is how you're going to have long-term customers. Don't forget to go back and talk to your database. Thank them. Write down their birthdays, their anniversaries, their business anniversaries, their kids' birthdays, anything that's important. You see them saying something on Facebook. Hey, I just received great. You text them, email them, call them. Hey, Bill, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. And then send them a nice card, something. The key is to stay in touch. Everybody's not doing this. I just did a program for a bank called Truist, and they hired me to train their whole country. That's a big bank, right? They used to be BB&T and SunTrust. And they hired me. You know what they're hiring me for? I had to create a 1-day program to get their people to touch their customers, their clients, to reach out and touch them, to call them, to text them, to send thank you cards, to take them out to coffee, to take them out to lunch, all these different things. That's what the whole program was about. And it's working because now they're starting to talk to people. So guys, this is what I want you to really master. So I'm going to break it down. There are 10 steps to sales mastery. 10 steps. Number 1, pre-plan, prepare, and do your homework. So what does that mean, Omar? Know your products, know your services. Number 2, know your competitors. I can't imagine being a top producer without knowing my competitors. When I owned my health clubs, I knew exactly what my competitors were selling, what their initiation fees were, what their monthly dues were, what they've offered, what kind of equipment, what kind of services. You know, I threw in a free workout for everybody that signed up. Why? Because then I could sell them personal training through my people, right? So make sure you do that. Know your customers' needs and wants, and make sure that you know all your objections in advance. So what I want you to do, think about in your industry, what are the top 5 objections that you receive? Think about it. Write them down. Let me give you a couple. I want to think it over. It costs too much. I need to talk to my spouse, partner. I need to sleep on it. You should have those all written out with your product and service, and they should come out naturally, just naturally. You should know all this naturally, all right? Number 2, get fired up. Turn on, get fired up. Don't talk to people if you're down. They don't care if you had a fight with your partner. They don't care if you had a bad night and you didn't sleep. They don't care if you're sick. They want you on your game, right? Turn on, get fired up. People don't buy from dead people, right? They don't. That's the bottom line. They don't care if you just broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. They don't care. What they care about is that you're there. So what I want you to be there Be fired up, be tuned in and tuned in to them. Be tuned into them. So I want you to ask yourself a mood, I call it the mood meter. It's funny. Grant Cardone, if you go in his office, he has a mood meter. You walk in, and if you're one of his salespeople, you put your hands in this mood meter. And if your mood meter color doesn't come up with the right color, he sends you home. That's tough, man. That's he wants closers, right? So what he does is he has his mood meter. So from 1 to 10, what's your mood when you're going to go sell? You better be a 7 to 10 if you're walking into Grant's office, right? Got that mood meter in there, right? Next, make contact and connect. Get their attention. How do you do that? Well, it's all about them. It's all about them. Get out there. Practice Omar's 6-foot rule. Anybody that's 6 feet from you, talk to them about what you do. I mean, it makes me crazy. You're in sales and you're shy? Come on. How are you going to make money? How are you going to recruit people? You can't be shy. Get out of your own way. Bring in your inner Omar Periu. Practice Omar's 6-foot rule. Anybody, you're at a store. You see somebody. You got kids. They got kids. They pick up some baby food. You say, hey, what do you think of that baby food? Well, I've been using it. It's pretty good. I've been thinking about using it. Question, how many kids do you have? I have 3 kids. Oh, wow, yeah. What do you do for a living? Well, I work from my home. Really? Hey, let me ask you a question. Are you making all the money you can possibly spend? What? Are you making all the money you can possibly spend? That's how you recruit people. Now, if you're in business, you just ask them, do they have a home? Do they have a deck? Do they have a barnuminium? Do they have, real estate? Do they have whatever? Who's your mortgage person? Who's your insurance person? What do you want? Just talk, ask questions, right? So remember, the more you do, the more you do. One thing I learned, the more you prospect, the better you get at it. I hated prospecting, especially cold calling. Oh my goodness. I hated cold calling. I had that 10-foot bowling ball for a phone because we used to have phones then, right? And my mentor says, you got a 10-foot bowling ball for a phone. You won't pick it up. I'm like, yeah, you're right. He says, well, if you want to get to the finish line, you need to pick up that 10-pound bowling ball. And I did. And I became the top producer in my industry 3 years in a row. Number 4, connect and become their best friend. Fully associate with people the moment you meet them, whether it's a phone call, a Zoom call, face-to-face. Fully associate with them. The customer's interest always comes first. Make sure you're there for them. And also, like I said earlier, give sincere compliments. But when you give a sincere compliment, back it up with a reason. Like say you walk in and you see trophies and it says that they were the #1, the best coach of the year, or their kids are in sports. You say, wow, I see your daughter's in cheerleading. How long has she been doing it? Well, it's been wow, to win that trophy. I know it's hard work because my daughter did cheerleading. She did. And, they always place first, second, or third, but it's very hard. Great. So now you're building, right? So if you and I are people builders, we have to never worry about income. See, I'm always about everybody else. So I never worry about making money. I have 7 mentees I work with. And by the time I'm done, they normally offer me a piece of their business. And some do, some don't. Some can't afford it. It's crazy. Some people come to me and they want to mentor with me, but they gave their money to a bunch of people that don't know what the heck they're doing. I mean, you guys, be careful. The people out there selling you stuff, check them out. Most of them are broke, 99% of them. And the only way they're paying their bills and selling you some crap. So don't buy it. Next, create matters of interest. You do that by qualifying, right? Ask the qualified questions. What do you have now? What don't you have now? What do you like about what you have now? What don't you like about what you have now? And then come up with the solutions. It's all about finding out what they have and don't have. Be more consultative. Then Qualify. Pro for problems. Let me talk to you about the pain pleasure principle. The pain pleasure principle. People will buy more to avoid pain than they do with pleasure. All right. So, for instance, I'll talk about something that most of you don't do. I trained automobile industry, Mercedes and Porsche and Lexus. So let's say people come in, they will buy another car because their car is out of warranty or it's starting to break down. So the pain of them throwing money down this, they call it a black hole because they're never coming back, then having a warranty will force them to buy a newer car, right? As long as it's under warranty. So that's the pain pleasure principle. For those of you in insurance, you could tell the story of someone that their family member died, they didn't have insurance, and they had to scramble to go and get the money to have the funeral, right? But if they had life insurance, that all would have been covered. So that's a pain pleasure principle. So another thing could be if, like, for instance, some of you that I train in the barnuminium pole barns and decks, barnuminiums are a big deal right now. Why? Well, weather. So you talk to someone that just went through winter and they had their RV get ruined or their tools because they didn't have it protected. That's a great way to sell them a pleasure, right? Next, create conviction. Make sure you're test closing. Hey, how are we doing so far, Bill and Mary? Well, I think we're doing well. Or I think, I got some questions. Great. The reason you do that is because you want to see if they have any questions for you, right? So it's important that you create conviction, test closes. Give you my favorite. Mary, how are you feeling so far? Bill, can you see why we're so excited about this new product? See all these different things. And then make it real and assume the sale. Every time you wake up, you should tell yourself, I'm going to make 3 sales today. Every time I get on stage, and some of you have met me there, I tell myself, I'm going to close 30% of the audience. When I walk on stage, I already sold that product. I just did an event with another speaker. And he goes, how do you do that? He said, I was worried about you. What are you worried about? He says, I saw you get up there and you started selling your stuff. And then you told them the first 17 people go to the table, are going to get this package. And I was worried you wouldn't get 17. I said, no, I got 87 out of 200. Why? Because I assumed the sale. Here's what you got to, if you don't close somebody, you don't believe in yourself. If you don't close somebody, you don't believe in your products and services. If you don't close somebody, you don't believe in what you do. So let me tell you what you need to believe in to close more deals, more sales. Number one, got to believe in yourself. Got to believe if they don't buy from you, they're making a mistake, that you're the best. Number two, you got to believe in your products and services. Got to believe you got the best products and services. Okay? Number three, you better believe in your testimonials that you have and make sure you got some strong testimonials and show them that, and it should be different types of people so they can see that other people believe in you. So that's another thing. And of course, got to believe in your company. Got to believe your company's the best. So there you go. Number 9, convert objections into commitments. I love objections. Most people don't like objections. They look at them as a negative. Look at them as positive. If they don't object, fight, or say something, they're not interested. They're not interested. Go back to the cars. I train Porsche. This guy comes in, wants to drive a 911. The guy takes him for a drive. He's asking him questions. He's not really responding. He comes back, says, thank you. I'm not ready for another 6 months. Well, you should have asked that in the beginning, right? Then you give this person the brochures, give a little information, and tell them, come back in 6 months when you're ready. Don't waste an hour and a half of my time, right? You missed the sale. So I want to really convert objections into commitments and then close. Make it easy to create a future for you. Make it easy to create a future with them and with you. How do you learn that? Make sure that you assume the sale and master personality types, right? I have it all in investigative selling. Master, if you understand yourself and you understand their personality, you understand how they buy. So I want you to become a humanologist, I call it. A humanologist is someone like me. I call myself a humanologist. I can read you in 15 seconds. I can tell you who you are. If you're a driver, if you're a socializer, if you're a thinker, analytical, if you're, a relator, I can read you in 15 seconds. I can go deeper than that. I have 4 more other things I'll pick up on you in the next 15 seconds. And that's what you need to know. Why? If you know how they are and you know how you are, you can then adjust your personality to sell them, because people like themselves, right? And people buy from people they like. So your goal is to be a chameleon. I live in Florida. If you go outside, you see these little chameleons, these little geckos, they call them, right? You've seen them on Geico. They will, if they're on a bark of a tree, they will turn brown. If they're in the grass, they will go green. If they will go everywhere they are, they will turn that color. And so you need to be a chameleon, right? So let's get into some serious steps. My goal is that when you make sales, don't clog up the system. When most salespeople make sales, they get so caught up in making a sale that they stop prospecting. So I want to talk to you about prospecting. The more you do, the more you do, the more you do, the more you make. The more you do, the more you do, the more you do, the more you make. The more you prospect, the better you're going to get at it. It happened to me. I told you I didn't like it. The more you do, the more you do, the more you do, the more you make. So here's what I want you to do. Look at your business goals. Every day, wake up with a plan. Daily activity. How many people do I need to talk to get my goal? Right? Your goals should be broken down from 1 year, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, weeks, daily amounts, hourly. And you break it down. Daily activity equals contacts, equals presentations, equals closed sales, closed business results. The key is to become better by studying my training and constantly improve your conversion ratio. Okay? Next, closers increase their self-image by handling failure and coping with rejection. Fall in love with the word no. Make sure you closers fall in love with the word no, and they realize that closing more sales is a result of handling more rejection. The more rejection you can eat, the more sales you get. Now you just got to become better. Your conversion ratio becomes better, right? So let's talk about prospecting. Here's the top ways. Regardless of what you're selling, prospecting is a master key to your success. Marketing. Your company does a lot for you, but you should do your own. Face-to-face prospecting, practicing Omar's 6-foot rule. Telephone skills, I'll cover that in a minute. Referrals, getting referrals. Social networking. All of these things you should be doing. Now, let me cover these for you. Look at everyone as a prospect, or at least as someone who may know of a prospect. Remember, selling is nothing but a numbers game. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. So the 7 best networking, I've covered these with you before. I want to cover them real quick. Bill, how'd you get started in your business? What do you enjoy most about what you do? Mary, what separates your company from your competition? What advice would you give someone just getting started in your business? What do you see as the coming trends in your business? What ways have you found to be most effective for promoting your business? What one sentence would you like people to use in describing the way you do your business? So these are the best networking questions that we have found. Now, got one more thing for you. Phone sales. Well, when I say phone sales, I mean prospecting. So here's the best things to do. Separate your identity from your role when you're calling people. Number 2, Set blocks of times and amounts of calls. I told you about that. Number 3, prepare 15 minutes before you start talking to people. Warm up. Athletes warm up. You're an athlete. Warm up, right? Act like you're calling your best friend. It reduces the fear factor. And number 5, use your body. Have a headset. Always have a headset. You can take notes, use your hands, whatever, right? Those are the 5 beliefs you need in order to be successful at cold calling. So create a funnel, right? So now you did that. Now, part 2, I'm going to cover the other parts. So first thing we talked about is building rapport. So I'm going to cover from this moment on the next call. This is being recorded. Take this, add it to part 2, and you'll have a nice little package to train yourself and your people. Number 2, create an interest statement. Okay. Number 3, gather the data to close a sale. Number 4, remember features, benefits, and results. Benefits, features, results. And then cover all the details, money, deliveries, timeframes, budgets, whatever you do. And then, of course, test close, all that. Now, I've got a couple of positions right now left. I'm looking for 1 or 2 people to mentor. If you're interested, all you gotta do, one-on-one mentoring with me. You'll learn how to break down barriers that are holding you back from becoming rich. You'll learn how to get organized and master your time, maximize your profits. You'll learn how to turn bad decisions from your past into opportunities, overcome fears. You'll learn how to create multiple streams of income, which is what I have. You'll learn to become rich and have the time by using my modern method. All you got to do, if you're interested, email me at Omar Periu, info@omarperiu.com, and say, "Hi, Omar. I would like to talk to you, and I'll give you a 30-minute consultation and talk to you about coaching and mentoring." All right, Danny, you can turn off the recording and I'll take questions.